sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's simple. Just go to shrmedia.com, or we got two other ways. You can go to YouTube or Facebook and just search for SHR Media, but don't forget to hit the like or subscribe button to stay up to date on all the great shows. So as I'm getting everything ready for the show, I have my little tablet right here, and I usually have it on a program, or some nights I'll have the TV going, and a commercial comes on, and all of a sudden they start talking about all these fake news accusations against President Trump. And a new one came out that he took money from foreign governments, which is holy fuck. If they're going to complain about that, why aren't they incited about Hillary? She took billions of dollars from foreign governments. And then comes the picture, and it's Tom Stiers sitting on a chair trying to act like everyday person, and it says, Tom Stiers, American citizen. What it doesn't tell you is he's a goddamn lobbyist, donor, huge donor for the Democrat Party. He is a huge Hillary fan. He is a huge Obama fan. So he's pissed off. He spent millions upon millions of dollars and lost it all, pissed it down the drain by backing Hillary. So now he is doing a commercial, an ad, begging for backup so that they can impeach Trump, because other presidents have gotten impeached for less. Bullshit. Bullshit. Let's see. The accusation that Russia interfered with the election with ads on Facebook and Google and all that. Google and Facebook recently testified in front of Congress and said, yes, Russia did run ads. But it wasn't until after the election, and they were running ads saying that Trump is not a legitimate president. Wait a minute. How does that help Trump, as they say Russia's been trying to do? Russia has been in bed with the Democrat Party. Russia has been in bed with Miss Hillary Clinton. But they keep trying to point. Well, what they're doing is they know that's who they're in bed with. So to keep the accusations from being pointed at them, they want to accuse Trump of it. And it's that little adage I use. If the Democrats are accusing somebody of something, you better look behind the curtain, because that's exactly what they're doing. So they try to take the attention off themselves by accusing people of doing it. Sort of like in a marriage, a lot of times, not always, a lot of times you have the one spouse that screams, you're cheating on me, you're cheating on me, you're cheating on me. And what they're doing is they're trying to take attention off of them because they're the ones doing the cheating. And it's not a 100% adage, but with the Democrat Party, that is exactly what they're doing. And all the paperwork and all the facts are pointing to the DNC, Hillary Clinton having the collusion with Russia, having the connection, having the money laundering. But yet you get Tom Stiers. I'm sorry, that commercial should not be allowed. That is false. Outright lies. Goddamn communistic propaganda. Tom Stiers is sitting out there trying to make people that don't know any better that he's just an everyday American, and that's why he put the money together to do this commercial. It was announced he was spending $10 million on the commercial ads to try to get Trump impeached. Which leads us to the first article, coincidentally. House Democrats, Texas Democrat Al Green said Wednesday he's giving his colleagues in the House a Christmas deadline to vote on impeaching President Trump. I wonder what he's actually going to do if they don't actually impeach him. You know, he's giving them until this date to do it. Or what? Or he's going to hold his breath? Hang on, I'm looking for something real quick. You know, it's somewhat funny. It's funny, but it isn't funny. He's demanding. Who the hell are you? And you know what? Even Nancy Pelosi's, you know, shut up. Shut up. Why? Because she knows that's handing them. That's handing Democrats, or excuse me, the Republicans, a shitload of campaigning opportunity. And this guy's been running his mouth left, right, and center. And it's not good. Come on, where's the video? I know there's a video for it. This is not going to be good for the Democrats. This is not the first time Al Green's been out there banging on the gavel for impeachment. I think this is like his second or third try. You know, he could put the bill in as many times as he wants. And that's the thing we got to watch out for. We're in a predicament right now. We are definitely in a predicament. Damn it. Trying to find the video that I could download. I mean, he's been screaming impeachment, and it's not. I don't see it going anywhere. It's not, especially with a Republican. Majority. Sorry about this. I'm trying to find a good video to give to you guys. So those that are watching the live stream, you can actually witness the idiot. I love this. You have two Democrats that have won, and they want to end the politics that have torn this country apart. We declare the days of division are over, when it's their rhetoric that has caused this division. Now this is not, and this guy does it so much, it's hard to find his new impeachment calls, because, like I said, he's done it before. I mean, it's like his third time. Alright, here's today's. That was October 11th. Then I got September, and it's ridiculous. So here, let's just play today's.
Rise today with
What the heck is going
with a sense of responsibility and duty to the people who have elected me, a sense of duty to this country, a sense of duty to the Constitution of the United States of America. I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to call for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America for obstruction of justice. I do not do this for political purposes, Mr.
Oh.
Speaker. I do this because I believe in the great ideals that this country stands for. Liberty and justice for all. The notion that we should have government of the people, by the people, for the people. I do it because, Mr.
He's
Speaker,
trying to
there is
circumvent
belief in this country
the people.
that no
The people
one is
elected
above
Donald
the
Trump.
law, and that includes the president.
What about Hillary
of the
Clinton?
United States
What
of
about
America.
Hillary Clinton? Is she above the law?
Mr. Speaker, our democracy is at risk. Mr. Speaker, this offense has occurred before our very eyes. It is perspicuous. It is easy to understand. Mr. Speaker, we are talking about a president who fired the FBI director
Oh my
who was
God!
investigating the president for his connections to Russian involvement.
And he was
in the
never
president's
under
election.
investigation.
Mr. Speaker, this is not about the president firing the FBI director because he was investigating someone else. It's because the FBI was director.
Now let's hold on. He's sitting there saying this bullshit rhetoric when Comey came out and said the president was never under investigation. Never. Comey said it multiple times that there was no investigation into Donald Trump. Never. But he's out there pushing this lie because otherwise he has nothing. This is the bullshit that I get tired of from the Democrats. This lie has been exposed multiple times, but yet he is going to go out there and keep repeating it and ignoring the facts. There was no investigation into Donald Trump, so how can there be an obstruction by firing the FBI director, as it was also approved by the assistant director, or what is it, assistant attorney general Rosenstein approved of it and recommended that he be fired. Hell, these Democrats were calling for it up until Donald Trump actually did it, and because he wants to play politics, he's going to go out there, and just because you say, I'm not here for political purposes or play politics, right there tells me that's exactly what this fucker is doing. He's going out there to play politics. He's out there to push more lies. Lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. That's what the Democrat Party is built on. What's scary, I don't know what's worse, that he keeps trying to push these lies, or there's still people that fall for this. They're that gullible that they fall for all these lies. Let's see what else this jack-off has to say.
Was investigating the president himself. And after firing the director, he went on to let us know that he considered the investigation when he fired it. And then he tweeted language that would be intimidation or a warning, an admonition, very strong to say the very least. Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow this to go unchecked. The president is not above the law. It is time for the American people to weigh in. Mr. Speaker, the American people...
When is he going to get behind the investigation into Hillary Clinton and her being above the law? She has broken the law multiple times Comey admitted she broke the law, but yet nothing has happened because it seems she is above the law. So it's okay when the Democrats do it by his standard, but he's holding the Republican president to an imaginary standard. Because why I say imaginary? Because these things never even fucking happen, let alone holding it to a standard equal to what they hold the Democrats to, which is no standard. Democrats are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, and this jackass sits up there and he's trying to divert everybody's attention away from all the news that has been coming out that has hurt the Democrats. So he's going to go out there and rattle the cage and talk about impeaching Donald Trump on this bullshit. And I keep hearing from everybody, the Democrats, about this division and divide, and they're going to stop it. They don't want to see it anymore. They talk about racism, bigotry, hatred, xenophobia, sexism, and it all comes from the left. I've sat back and watched it. And even before I really classified myself as a Republican, I sat back as a neutral party and watched. And one of the things that pushed me to come out as a conservative is this hatred, racism, bigotry, xenophobia, and sexism from the left. That is what pushed me. I got tired of watching it. From an outsider, I watched as the Democrats did all this crap and then tried to blame everybody else for it. Take a look at Hollywood. Let's look at Hollywood. The left is in love with them. They're in bed with them. They were out there banging the gongs, preaching, talking down to us Americans when there was that tape of Donald Trump with locker room talk. Oh, it was so he can't run for president. We can't have a president do that. We can't have somebody like that. And they were lecturing us. And what do we see? Those same fuckers that lectured us out there sexually assaulting women, blackmailing women, raping them. And it's coming from the same people that lectured us. That same group that stands above and acts like they're better than us and talks down to us. And the new one that's coming out, Jesse Jackson, yes, that Jesse Jackson, is now being accused of sexual harassment by a reporter. And it does not surprise me one bit. It does not surprise me. Because the left have had this attitude that they can get away with anything they want. Because they go out in public running their mouths on how they're for the women and everybody else is against them and against women, yada, yada, yada. And again, it goes to, what is the Beasley call them? Axioms. The Reaver Axiom 101. If you hear a Republican complaining about it, they are the ones doing it. Period. And this jackass going on and on and on.
Are a part of this democracy. This is a participatory democracy.
This is a republic.
American people don't participate on election day only. The American people participate daily, and this is your day to act. This is your day. I'm speaking to the American people. It is time for you to act.
Fine, my action. I demand the House remove Texas Democrat Representative Al Green for treason against the United States. Treason against the President of the United States. Treason against the people of the United States. I accuse him of racism, bigotry, hatred. I accuse him of that. I accuse him. He is the one causing the divide, nobody else. They are the ones that have caused this rift in this country. And a majority of the people know it and believe it. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back. Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sako as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And then welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. So one of the things is you have Hillary Clinton, or not Hillary Clinton, holy shit, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and a lot of the leadership telling their members to shut up about this impeachment. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little walk down memory lane. We're going to go back to when Bill Clinton was president. Now, he actually got impeached. The House impeached him. The Senate did not find him guilty. Now, what happened to the Republican Party right after that? They got their asses handed to them. And the thing was because of that impeachment. The people saw it as a political move. Now, I'm not saying it was, but they saw it as a political move, and they lost big time. So the leaders of the Democrat Party, and this is what the Republicans were doing, and I've even said, when everybody was screaming, let's do impeachment on Obama, impeach him. We didn't have the votes. We didn't have the super majority that we could actually get those votes through. So by doing that, that would have hurt the Republican Party big time. They would have lost grounds instead of gaining like they have. So what the Democrats are doing out there, and they're giving a lot of false, the sense of false accomplishments to the people. So they're out there, Maxine Waters, Al Green, and a couple other, they're all out there, we're going to impeach. They get their base all riled up. Then they look like a bunch of fucking idiots. And it pisses their people off. Well, why do I want to waste my time with them? Why? They're not, it ain't going to do nothing. They just sit there, we're going to impeach and nothing happens. But what it also does is you're going to see the Republicans, if we lose control of the House on November, they will impeach Donald Trump. If the Democrats take majority of the House and take majority of the Senate, they will impeach Donald Trump. It gives they give it so much talking points for ads to run against the Democrats that it will gin up the base of the Republican Party. It'll light a fire under their ass of, we got to get out there. It's a midterm, but if we lose this, we're going to lose the presidency. We got to get out there. Democrats get their asses handed to them. And that's what the leadership's trying to avoid. But these people, these Democrat elected officials are not being that smart right now. They have this hatred for Trump that it got this foaming. They're foaming at the mouth. It's coming out their ears and eyes. Ooh, hate Trump. Trump bad. That's all they could see. They don't even want to try to get anything done. Oh, no. Fuck America. Fuck the American people. We hate Trump. Must stop Trump. That's all they got. That's all that's in their heads. All right, this pissed me off today. I haven't had problems with my headset in a while. And now all of a sudden, the one right ear keeps dropping out on me. And nothing's worse than you're talking, and you have it in both ears, and all of a sudden you get kind of just in one ear. So in a way, you know, Tom Steyer's doing that ad. Oh my God, he just ginned up. He just fired up a bunch of Republicans. Because these Republicans are starting to learn. Or they better start learning. You don't get behind Donald Trump, you're not going to get elected. And I know they're sitting there, well, look at Virginia, look at New Jersey. Oh, people are tired of Trump. No, they're not. No, they're not. And I said this was going to happen before the election. For what, 5 or 6 special election? This is a litmus test. This will show that the people do not want Trump. Oh, not this one. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. It wasn't this election. It's the next special election. This one will show. Oh, shit, we lost this one. No, not this one. I misspoke. I was talking about the other one, and I talked about this one. I meant the other one that's coming up next week. Oh, we lost that. No. I made a mistake. It's the next one. The next one, definitely, that is the one I'm talking about. Fuck, we lost that one. And every single time they've been doing it, and they've lost, and they've lost. So now they finally get a win in fucking liberal blue states. They finally win, and they're sitting here. This is a vote against Trump. Wait a minute. In New Jersey, a fucking liberal shitbag state. Trust me, I know. I go by Jersey Joe. Why? Because I spent over 30 years in that state. I love the state. I miss it. There's certain things I miss about that state. But those piece of shit elected officials, no. But what bothers me and scares me, and I was talking with a guy on Facebook today because he wants to get out in New Jersey, and I was telling him about here in Florida. We have all these people running out of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. They want to get out of the high taxes. They want freedom. So they come to Florida. Oh, nice, beautiful state, sunny. Oh, taxes are low. Life is good here. Oh, I can get a concealed carry permit. I can protect myself. I have stand your ground rights. I don't have to run for my house. Oh, it's election time. Let me elect that same dirtbag that I just ran away from New Jersey on, and let me put him in charge of Florida. And that's what they're starting to do here. They're starting to elect more and more these liberal shitbags that ruin New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, that whole Northeast corridor, all those anti-American, I'm trying to watch my mouth today. And they're electing them here. One thing I am laughing about, it seems like New Jersey and California are having this contest of who can be more anti-American, anti-constitutional than the other. And every time one does something, it's, here, hold my beer, watch this. So they go and they elect because Chris Christie turned out to be not a great person. So what do? They elect Phil Murphy. And Phil Murphy has said, right from the start, on day one, he is going to sign 20 anti-gun, which we're going to get into more later. He is going to take away New Jersey's Second Amendment right altogether. He is going to turn that state more into a criminal shitbag state than it already was. I don't understand why people... But that had nothing... New Jersey had nothing to do with Trump. That had to deal 100% with Chris Christie being a fat, dumb fuck. He had his eyes on the presidency, and people were blowing his ego up fatter than his ass, and he was believing it. So he thought he was done with New Jersey, and then when Trump got it, he thought, oh, I'm going to get a position in Trump's administration. I got kicked to the curb. Wow. Shit on me. So he goes back to New Jersey and he ruins the chance for Republicans. Because he had a chance to do some stuff. Well, he did. He made things worse. So now they got Phil Murphy, and I know a lot of friends that are going to be fucked because they're stuck in New Jersey and they're going to be paying even higher taxes than they already are. Their pensions are going to go to hell. They're not going to have a right to protect themselves. Because I said I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. After the top of the hour, we'll go into the anti-gun, pro-gun section. I keep jumping ahead there. I'm sorry. I still got that out. I think it's, 3 times now? Maybe 4 times he's been trying to impeach Trump. I think there's been 4 articles put against Trump. Jesus, guys. Give it a rest. His new resolution covers 4 articles of impeachment. 1 accuses the president of citing white supremacist, sexist, bigotry, hatred, xenophobia, race baiting, and racism by demeaning, defaming, disrespecting, and disparaging women and certain minorities. Another alleges Trump brought shame and dishonor to the office of the presidency by associating the majority and dignity of the presidency with causes rooted in white supremacy, bigotry, racism, anti-Semitism, white nationalism, and neo-Nazism. I just don't understand. Like I said, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi has repeatedly downplayed talks of impeachment. On Sunday, told CNN it wasn't one of her legislative priorities. You have another article. It's MSNBC's Katie Tur, T-U-R, to journalists. Everyone needs to tone it the fuck down on Trump coverage. And what she's saying is, recently said the journalists covering President Donald Trump need to rein back some of their criticism because it renders a lot of analysts ineffectual. Everyone needs to tone it down, tone it the F down, just tone it down. She said on an episode of Recode, Decode, published Wednesday, bring down the volume. If we're all loud about everything, nothing penetrates. In an apparent appeal to her fellow colleagues, the journalist expressed that news coverage shouldn't be about peppering Trump with condemnation through intensive fault-finding. We are all facing big dangers when it comes to our sovereignty, our elections, our democratic process. We have a foreign power that's trying to manipulate us. We need to focus on that. That is a huge story. You can't let that keep happening. Now, she has been an outspoken critic of Trump. She wrote in her book released in September that she was about to throw up after hearing Trump would win the 2016 presidential election. Trump can endanger my life, she wrote, and Trump once called her a third-rate reporter and a liar. Now, here's kind of funny things, because today is the one-year anniversary of Donald Trump winning the election. And you've actually had some Democrat and liberals, they're going outside, crying at the moon type thing. I don't know. It's some new age. I have no idea. And I was listening to Hannity on the way back from picking my daughter up from her school. And he said that, journalists get stuff that they can't talk about. And I think they said about 4 or 5 o'clock, they were all given exit polls that said Hillary is going to win by huge margin. She was winning the exit polls. And that's why everybody was all gleeful, because they saw this piece of paper and the exit polls that Hillary had won Florida, Pennsylvania, It was all good. And then that's why it hit them really hard when they announced Trump had won. Because they had gotten that piece of paper from the polls. I think it's the AP with the exit polls that said Hillary had won by a landslide. That Trump had only won a couple of states. Oh. Hannity was saying he never believes those because it's the same one that said John Kerry beat President Bush. You know, they've made a lot of mistakes within those exit poll things. So it just makes me laugh, but I want to celebrate that today's the 1-year anniversary of Hillary Clinton getting her ass handed to her. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back. Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello. I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. How's everybody doing? I don't know. If the Republicans would play their cards right, they would be on top of the world. They would have the Democrats crying like little babies right now and backing down and working with them. They would have no choice but to work together if the Republicans were smart. The Republicans are acting like the Democrats are still in control. They are very subservient, it seems like, some of these Republicans. Either that or they don't want to actually lead. They just want to, act like, we want to be in a majority, and they get the majority. Oh, shit, now what do we do? I know, we'll let the Democrats win, and we'll go back to whining and crying. We don't have to do anything, but we'll make a lot of money in donations. It's... I don't know. They have a chance right now. The Democrats are in trouble. They could sit back, do their jobs, get through this stuff that Trump was elected for, tax reform, but you have people like Senator McCain who will screw over the American people in a heartbeat because he hates Donald Trump so much that he just wants to attack Donald Trump's agenda, end it, at the expense of the American people. He's willing to screw America and American people over just so he could screw over Donald Trump. He's like, I wouldn't do that. That's exactly what he's doing. And he's sitting there laughing about it. He thinks it's funny. In the meantime, Americans are the ones paying the price. Americans paying the price for him. But if we could get assholes like him and Jeff Flake, this guy's dumber than dog shit. He's out there, well, we need to do something about guns. So I'm going to go and put a law in. I'm going to propose a law that will stop those that are accused and convicted of domestic violence that they can't own a gun. It takes a special kind of stupid to be like that. There already is that law. So he's out there beating the drum trying to make himself look important as he's on the way out. And it just shows why we need him out, because he's dumber than dog shit. Amoebas are smarter than Jeff Flake. But all the Republican Party has to do is get behind securing the border, which they've been talking about for God knows how many decades. Tax reform, they've been talking about for God knows how long. And repealing Obamacare. They've been campaigning on that for 7 years. Do those 3 things, and they would be kicking ass. 2018 would be, Democrats would be like going, oh shit, we're fucked. No, instead we got a bunch of Republicans fighting. And this is the stuff that they talked about. That's the part that really pisses me off. This is stuff that they talked about. This is stuff that is the Republican Party. And they don't want to do it because they're mad at Trump. Trump's an outsider. Well, you know what's going to happen? Those same senators that keep fucking these bills over left, right, and center, they're going to find their ass out of a job. That's a little bit of warning. You keep your shit up, you're going to be out of job. Whether you lose in the primary or you lose against a Democrat, you're going to be without a job soon. You got Trump supporters that go, and I'm not going to vote just because they're Republican. I'm not going to vote for it. We're not going to vote the same bullshit in there. And that's part of the problem we had in Virginia with the Republican, what was it, Gillespie? He wasn't a Trumpster. It wasn't somebody that Trump supporters could get behind. So, a lot of them didn't go out and vote. They don't have a candidate they like. I'm not going to vote. I mean, you had Chris Kristol, whatever, one other of his little butt buddies, out there, we can't vote for him. He said nice things about Trump. You don't want him. They would rather Democrats get elected. They would rather that. We want candidates that are willing to do what needs to be done. We want candidates that are going to push and fight for the American people. But we don't see that. And I sometimes I got to question Trump. I mean, not Trump, but some of his picks. Gotta wonder. This Department of Homeland Security. Holy shit. Brilliant idea. We'll deter illegal immigration by bettering the economies of foreign countries. No. No. That's that country's job to do. That is not our job to do. Our job is to secure our borders. Make sure our borders are safe. That is the job of the federal government. And then we worry about our economy. Because if we have a strong economy, then we can help other countries start with theirs. Worry about our country, then worry about everybody else's. That's the problem with too many of these assholes. They want to worry about everybody else, and the hell with America. It's how we got in this predicament in the first place, people. That's how we got here. Where the hell's my mouse? There it is. We have to increase the prosperity there. There's a variety of programs you and I have discussed, including the Alliance for Prosperity, but to really help the communities find jobs, track the private sectors, and enable the community to be resilient in such a way that it is itself provides the type of environment that citizens would want to stay. Nielsen also blamed America's drug crisis as a factor in why illegal aliens enter the United States. Well, that's why we need a secure border. Secure border can cut down on the drugs coming into the country. It will, really drop-off on the illegal aliens enter the country, too. Oh, that kills two birds with one stone. But you see, Democrats and these politicians and these college-educated assholes aren't smart enough to see that. They couldn't see the hand that's in front of their face getting ready to smack them. And this pro-amnesty, fuck that. I have no problem with immigration. They shouldn't be rewarded, and that's what the amnesty is, rewarding those who broke the law. If I break the law, I sure as hell do not get rewarded. And trust me, I can give the excuses, the same excuses that they come up with for all these illegal aliens, and I could do it. I could probably go and do this without anybody getting hurt. Go rob a bank where nobody gets hurt, because I'm doing it to better my family, to help my family, to give them a better life. I couldn't give them a good life, so I did this act of love for my family, to give them a better life, to secure a better life for my daughter. But I'm sure as hell, no, I'm not going to get no sanctuary for robbing a bank. Wait a minute, not robbing a bank, I'm sorry. An undocumented withdrawal from a financial institution. Yeah, that would go over like a fart in church. Could you imagine that going in front of the judge? Your Honor, I plead not guilty as I did not rob the bank. I did take an undocumented withdrawal from that financial establishment. And you can't touch me because I'm in a sanctuary city that's going to protect me from being arrested. Unless I commit a serious crime at this time. Can you imagine the judge? You hear this white boy? You hear this dumb white boy? Life. Oh. I wish I could even fake all that just to have a fake trial and just put it out there, just how stupid it sounds with them. It's just imagine that. I'd get laughed at. No way I would get away with what Democrats and some of these dumbass Republicans are pushing for this illegal immigration. Giving out amnesty. I'm out of coffee. All right, we're going to play Melanie. One of her little money minutes. Come on. Money Talk Minutes with Melanie, and from there we're going to head right to the break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk Minute with your business diva, Melanie Collette. This week, we're going to discuss interest rates. Why are they important? Well, they're important on two sides of your financial coin. On the one side, you have your debt. Credit card debt, loans, and things like that. You always want to get the lowest interest rate possible. Why? That means that that money is costing you a lot less to borrow with a lower interest rate. And speaking of that, when you're looking at which loan or which credit card to pay off first, you're always going to look at the interest rate. Which one has the highest interest rate? That's the one you want to start paying off first. On the savings side of the financial coin, what kind of savings account do you want to open? Which one should you choose? You will always choose the one with the best interest rate, and on the savings side, the best interest rate will be the highest interest rate. This means it will yield you the highest amount of return. And that's it for your Money Talk Minute of the Week. I am your business diva, Melanie Collette.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. This is your host, Jersey Joe. I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. I don't know. It's just we're really in a real predicament with the way things are going. But told you after the top of the hour we're going to get into the guns section. The guns, bang bang. Oh yeah, pew pew. My gun goes pew pew. Remember, we don't need guns that go pew pew pew. Tell you what, if my gun went pew, I'd be worried about it. Maybe it would be a Frenchy gun. It'd be like a Pepe Le Pew. Pew! Alright, where the hell did they all go? Which way did they go, George? Which way did they go? Oh! I love the liberals lately, and this is a point that's been we've been really pushing back on. They keep trying to demonize NRA members, and they keep blaming the NRA members for all these mass shootings. They just keep going at it. It's the NRA. Yeah, it took me a long time really to figure this out. There was a lot of math involved. A lot of work that went into this, and I went through along with these other people, and guess how many mass shootings were committed by an NRA member? A whopping, a whole 1. As in, not a 1. None. Zip. Zilch. Not a 1 was committed. I know I really threw everybody off there. Not a single one was committed by an NRA member. And it's something like 90% of them were registered Democrats. So really, if we really wanted to stop these mass shootings, maybe Democrats need to stop being so emotional and going off the wagon and going into these mass shootings sprees. Oh, let's see. What did Dave send me? Dave just sent me a picture of Princess Leia with a ray gun in her hand, and it has 2 pews coming out of it, as in church pews. Oh, that was good, Dave. I didn't. Dave, the unpleasant blind guy, he's in the chat room. It's the Pulse nightclub shooting, Fort Hood, San Bernardino, all terror attacks, and I'm talking with this is extreme Islamic terrorism that's going on. They try to push it off that it's just some crazy guy, but those were terrorist attacks. The attempted political assassinations of a Republican on a baseball field by Bernie Sanders supporter, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook Elementary, Columbine, Umpqua Community College, and the Charleston Church mass shootings left those most vulnerable open to attack. Yeah, could you imagine the recoil on that to shoot those pews out? The recoil would be a bastard. Patricia Arquette, she sent out a tweet. You may have the right to have a gun, but you don't have the right to shoot it at people because you are simply angry. No shit, Sherlock. That's pretty much common sense, which I don't know if I told you guys recently. I got into it with someone again, of course a liberal, and they tried using the oh, your name's not, you're not living up to your name, Common Sense. And it's like, yeah. You have to read the whole name, not just bits and pieces. It's Reaver of Common Sense. Reavers, and I explained to them what Reavers were. And not from Firefly. Not from Battle Pirates or any other game. Comes from like Greek mythology, you know, something that's you have to study, use your little brain power on, and they were the bringers of death. Reaver of Common Sense, death of common sense, and that's what I see we have going on. And a text like that from Patricia Arquette really stands out. That yeah, you don't have a right to shoot at people because you're simply angry. That's called murder, and murder is against the law. Oh my God! Hey BZ, how are you doing, sir? Don't forget, coming up top of the hour in approximately 57 minutes, we will have the Sackheads Radio Show, hosted by Sackhead Clint, BZ, and Sackette Sean. Ouch. Oh, I need to crack my neck again. Oh, the weather we've been having here in Florida, cold weather, and it's just got my joints all aching. Now, the recent NRA ads and videos have been about arming up to be on defense or offense to protect from fearful feelings. They can't defeat, they haven't been able to defeat the Second Amendment because, well, we have great organizations like the NRA that fight back. So the only way they see now that they can fight against the Second Amendment is they have to tear down the NRA. Tear down NRA, they have to turn them into the enemy of the United States. How do you do that? You make them seem like they are a terroristic organization. And that's, if you listen to Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, they have accused NRA members of being murderous. Patricia Arquette and MoveOn.org blaming the National Rifle Association for either encouraging mass murderers or denouncing the Civil Rights Organization as a terrorist organization. People have asked the question, how many of these mass shooters have been members of the NRA? And we have answered that, not a one. It's... Now, the Washington Post dissected the mass shootings over the past 50 years and found these stats. Each gun was used to kill an average of 3 people, not counting shooters. The 948 people came from nearly every imaginable race, religion, and social economic background. 145 were children or teenagers. The definition of mass shootings changes with organizations doing the analysis, but the Post considered a mass shooting in which 4 or more people were killed. Now, I'm going to jump right in. You got to watch that, because then you start getting gang shootings, start getting lumped in with the mass shootings. I know technically they're mass shootings, but it's not the same thing when you have a gang shooting, a drive-by shooting. And that's underneath the different classification than mass shootings. Mass shooting is just someone going in, going into a concert, opening fire, as compared to a gang shooting where they're trying to kill a whole gang of people, gang members. I'm having trouble explaining it. I can see it in my head, but I think you guys get the picture. But they lump that all together. So this is how the Post showed the ratio of victims of mass shooting to overall gun violence. And shit, I gotta pull that chart up. Oh, damn it. I'm slacking behind, ain't I? You can fire me. You can go ahead and fire me if you want. Oh. While I'm pulling the chart up so I can explain to you the chart. So I pulled up to my neighbor's today when I was on my way to get my daughter. And I was like, hey, Phil, what are you doing this weekend? And we exchanged what he's doing. And he was like, why? I was like, well, I'm building an Lichtenberg machine this weekend. You want to help? He's like, oh, cool, great. Sure. What's a Lichtenberg machine? So I showed him what it is. And if you don't know what it is, you got to look at it. It's cool. Where you take a transformer of some type, and you basically run the wire directly out, and you put it onto wood, and you have the wood soaked with water, and it'll look like a tree with no leaves when it's done, each side branching out, and it burns into the wood, depending on the voltage, how deep it goes. It's beautiful looking. So he's like, oh yeah, cool, we could just electrocute ourselves this weekend. I was like, yep, we'll have fun. Alright, where's... Sorry about that. I wasn't totally up to date on having everything. So the large portion, it is total gun-related injuries at 25,000. The smaller gray area denotes the number of deaths at 12,000. More than half of these are suicide. That small black box represents how many people died in mass shootings. And how many of the shootings have been carried out by a card-carrying member of the NRA? And that is 0. Even the Washington Post found out it's 0. If any of them had been, it would have been in the news nonstop. NRA Executive Director Chris Cox told Fox News' Tucker Carlson the Las Vegas killer Stephen Paddock was not a member of his group, nor was any mass killer. The truth is that there were NRA members at that concert. There was NRA members shot at the concert. NRA members murdered at that concert. The American people are looking for answers, and so are we. But he told Carlson Paddock was not a member of the NRA. Of course not. That's the one thing that is consistent from critics. They blame the one organization whose members don't commit the crimes. Now, you might have individually some idiots that abuse their rights. That might be a NRA member that might shoot somebody. That does not say the organization is totally responsible for every single member. But the claim that this is NRA is doing these shootings is an outright false accusation, and it's used to cover up usually that those members, those people that committed those crimes, have been liberals. I mean, Jesus, anybody with a brain can look it up. It's easy. That information is out there. It takes 5 seconds to look that information up. At least here in Florida, all that information is open to everybody. And just that they're trying to divert the attention off of them and off of the main subjects, and they're trying to tear down the NRA. And I'll tell you, there's only one reason I'm a member of the NRA. It's because of the liberals and the constant attack on the NRA. That I wouldn't open a membership for it. Just to piss off a couple of liberals. And if I could, I'd have like 5, 6 memberships just to piss them off even more. You know, it's this constant attack. All they're trying to do is tear down support for the NRA so that they can take away our Second Amendment rights. We're going to head to break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking guns even more. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. I just want to thank Dave, the unpleasant blind guy, for being in chat today. You know, you're a joy to have in here every time you come here. And the 4 viewers that are lurking behind the privacy of the chat. You know, they yelled so much, Dave. I don't know. I thought I wasn't going to be able to do the show. I mean, they're howling out there. For those that don't know, Dave's asking, how did the yelling at the sky thing go today? Because it is the 1-year anniversary. As I said earlier tonight, there's Democrats that are yelling at the sky. I told my wife, and she just looked at me. She was like, what? I was like, yeah, they're just yelling at the sky. Just looking up and, ah! I don't know. I don't understand. She's just like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what their problem is. I don't think they know. It's just a complete joke. So, the United States Air Force is taking some of the responsibility for the Texas church shooter. He was convicted, and his convictions should have not allowed him to purchase a gun. But somehow, the only thing I saw was like a red elephant or something like that on Facebook was broadcasting live, I think in Texas, where some people were doing it. But the Air Force has taken responsibility for mishandling the process for reporting his domestic violence conviction. Far as I know, he had 3 strikes against him that should have not allowed him to get a gun. First, he was convicted of domestic violence. Right there, that is a big red flag, denial, whatever you want to put. It stops you from buying a gun if you are convicted of domestic violence. Number 2, being dishonorable discharge from the military is a disqualifier for buying a handgun. And this last one, it could have disqualified him. He was institutionalized. He broke out of being institutionalized. He actually broke out from the mental hospital. So right there, I mean, even the first 2, that right there, but somehow it did not get processed into the federal database. And you know, law enforcement even said at first on November 6th that he did not have a disqualifying criminal history when he filled out the background check paperwork at the store. And immediately questions arose, how did Kelly pass a background check considering the fact that he had a domestic violence charge? And everybody's always domestic violence, we need to put a law. It's already there. But somehow this law, they failed to find it and stop him from buying a gun. I mean, he was court-martialed for assaulting his then-wife and stepson. If I read it right, he shattered the skull of his stepson. This guy, then I'm hearing as a kid, he would kill animals, dissect animals. This guy was the perfect making of a serial killer. When you look at all the checklist for what a serial killer would do, you just go right down the line, and he hit it. He hit it, bump, bump. You know, loner. He would torture animals and so forth. It's like, oh my God. and how all this was missed over the years. This was in the making, and we're not going to be able to stop everyone, but there was a lot of red flags that should have popped up about this guy, and he shouldn't have been able to buy a gun to begin with. And I give the Air Force credit. They've stepped up, and they've admitted that they fucked up. And how that was, it is amazing that the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, which is NICS, which they check for your background when you go through your background check to buy a gun. That's what they go through. And he didn't pop. That's... Oh. It's a shame. I don't want to say shame because that's too light of a word. It's... Someone is going to have to explain how that went about and make sure that shit doesn't happen. Was it an honest paper mistake, or somebody like, this guy didn't deserve to get convicted, I'll just not enter the information, buddy type thing, or did he just honestly, he or she, forget to? Holy shit, it's 59 degrees out. Damn. It's a burper. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Senator Angus King, an independent from Maine, said Tuesday he would not support a ban on assault rifle. So right there, that takes a big hit on the Democrat side on any support trying to get something through the Senate. He says he will not support a ban on assault rifle because he doesn't like banning things based on how they look. Right there, boom, blew out the whole Democrat story. Because that's exactly what they're doing, based on how it looks. MSNBC's Willie Geist asked King if he believes civilians should be banned from owning military-style weapons, like the AR-15. And his response is, no, I think we've got to look at that carefully. Here's the problem. I'm from a state where we have one of the highest gun ownership rates in the country, and yet we have one of the lowest rates of crime. It's called an assault weapon, but it's simply a semi-automatic hunting rifle in costume with a different stock. And King said, dismantling a common term used by gun control advocates, the functionality of the weapon is exactly the same. A senator that's not a Republican that actually knows about the AR-15. There is actually a hunting rifle that fires a .223, and the only difference is appearance. That's it. It's scary looking, so they want to ban it. King noted that there are many so-called assault weapons in his state that are used by legitimate hunters. I have a problem with banning a weapon because of its appearance, he concluded. Now, New Jersey is in deep shit, as I said. After years of being stopped by Governor Chris Christie's veto pen, the Democrat-dominated New Jersey legislature is chomping at the bit over the prospect of Phil Murphy becoming governor, which he did. This includes Senate Majority Leader Loretta Weinberg, who already has 20 gun control bills lined up for Murphy to sign if and when he gets elected, which he did. This article is written prior to the election. Murphy won, and they have 20 lined up for gun control. New Jersey 101.5 recently did an article on Weinberg's endless quest to push smart guns, including how her dream gun was recently defeated by a refrigerator magnet. When asked about the future laws governing firearms in New Jersey if Murphy gets elected, the Democrat leader said, "We've already told Ambassador Murphy, hopefully he'll be the governor. I have at least 20 bills ready the day he walks in that have all been vetoed by Governor Christie. Assuming Weinberg means the same bills that were previously vetoed, Murphy will be essentially banning all semi-auto rifles, instituting a magazine capacity limit of 5 rounds, mandatory home inspection for gun owners, requiring psychological evaluations to own a gun. You have to pay for that, by the way, and probably much more we don't even know about if elected. Unfortunately, at least for law-abiding gun owners, Christie isn't going to be around forever to veto the endless stream of nonsense coming out of Trenton. And the only thing that comes out of Trenton is a bunch of gangbanging, no good pieces of shit anymore. Hell, who the hell is that? Basketball player that keeps going to North Korea. I know Dave's going to tell me in a minute. Oh, man. He's got all the tattoos and piercings. Damn it. Oh, man. Shit. I was going to say he came out of Trenton. Everybody knows who I'm talking about, and I just can't think of his damn name. And I had it, and it just... But I lived in New Jersey. There's a high rate of gun crime going on in New Jersey. And they've been strict gun control even back when I lived there. I saw it with my own 2 eyes what happened with my father. Not just my father. When I was working on the ambulance, I seen what was happening. The nightly shootings that happen in Trenton. And it's not by legal gun owners either. The gangbangers, the gang problem in Trenton, Camden, North Jersey, Atlantic City, and the gang violence that goes on and the gunshot wounds that come in and out of the ERs is just... And the ERs know what to do. You have one shooting, like on a Thursday night, they know to stock up and get ready because there's going to be a stream of victims coming in the rest of the weekend for retaliation, and it's going to be retaliating. And the only ones that pay are the legal, law-abiding citizens that can't protect themselves, because you get jackasses like this idiot, Loretta Weinberg, who wants to put all these damn safety devices in here. Not even safety devices. It's just one after another, these laws that stop people from being able to protect themselves. Psychological evaluation. You know what? They want it. They should pay for it. They're infringing on everybody's right. And you know what? Some of these groups, and this group, New Jersey Second Amendment, that I got this article from, I hope to God they start suing the shit out of New Jersey when these go through, and keep pushing it all the way up, keep fighting it till we get to the Supreme Court, because these laws need to be challenged in New Jersey, and the ones in California need to be challenged all the way to the Supreme Court, because it's getting ridiculous with what these fucking Democrats are doing and attacking our freedoms. They run around preaching, oh, we can't have ID cards for voting because that's infringing on your constitutional right to vote. Wait a minute, you want psychological evaluations, you have to have home inspections. I don't see no home inspections for people's right to vote. I don't see no home inspections for people's right to free speech. I don't see no psychological evaluation for people's voting or free speech right. I don't see anybody limiting how many words you could use. They already limit what guns and how many you could buy in New Jersey and where and when. That's all infringing on your rights. And they need to take it to the Supreme Court. Keep fighting it and put these cocksucking liberal communists right out of office. But no, New Jerseyans are stupid enough they keep electing the same jackasses over and over again. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Joycey Joe. What's up, Doc? What's going on, Mr. BZ? How is everything doing to you today? Don't forget, everybody, coming up, top of the hour, approximately, 12 minutes. We'll be turning the reins over to the Sackheads radio show, only right here on SHR Media, hosted by the infamous, the great BZ, Sackhead Clint, and Sackette Sean will be joining them today. They'll be going over everything in the news the past week, and they'll be broadcasting behind enemy lines of the great communist state of California. Oh, and the name I couldn't think of was, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was the basketball player. He came from Trenton, New Jersey, actually. He went to Trenton High School. So, if that tells you what comes out of Trenton. But yeah, Trenton's got a huge gang problem, and I mean, the shootings there are non-stop. The ambulances, fire trucks, everybody's getting shot at in that goddamn town. There's sections of the town that are no-go for the police, and I mean literally no-goes. I've gone in with the ambulance and all of a sudden looked around and see where the cops are, and they're at the end of the street. We don't go in there. Yes, Sackette. Sackette. I guess Sean needs a hearing aid. Getting up there in age, aren't you, Sean? I was wondering how many times I was going to have to do that before he actually heard me call him Sackette. I'm going to pay for that one later. Thank God. Once I get done, I'll be going off air. Tomorrow, I have a very important doctor's appointment. And I'm in all seriousness. I take my daughter to the burn specialist again tomorrow. The 2 weeks are up. And we get to find out if she needs skin grafts. And me and my wife are betting she's going to need 3 small skin grafts. I mean, a skin graft is a skin graft. But everything's healing great, but there's 3 spots that are just not looking right. Now, we're not an expert, but just, we were told it takes 2 weeks. It takes 2 weeks for the healing process to start, for them to tell whether there's going to be skin grafts. Tomorrow I get to find out. My wife's taking off work. My daughter's off from school. And then I forgot she has Friday off from school, too, which we scheduled this all before. If we had known that, we would schedule it for the Friday so she didn't miss any more school. I mean, she missed like a week of school because of these burns. I still don't know how this little girl, she has not been in pain. She felt the initial burn, and within about an hour or so, she didn't have any more pain. And It really had me and my wife kind of scared. We're like, holy shit. And I was talking, a medic friend of mine got a hold of me that night and started yelling at me because I didn't rush her to the hospital. And thank you, Jenna. Thank you very much. And now I've done EMS for 25 years, so I kind of, like I told her, I said, listen, don't forget, I did this for 25 years. I may not have the certainty anymore, but I do know what I'm doing. I mean, but that's, and I respect her for her position. Don't get me wrong. I respect her for her position and her having that discussion with me. It keeps me on my toes, but it's just, it didn't look good. I mean, I showed it to Sackhead Sean, and on a different note, BZ's been saying, Sean's in the background yelling that he's going to pay me back for that Sackhead comment. And Dave, the unpleasant blind guy, says, tell Sean he can always scream at the sky if Joe offends him too much. Oh, sounds like Sean. You like to howl at the moon. Trump got elected. I'm still laughing that happened. But and thank you, Dave, too. Thank you very much for the prayers. Both Dave and Jen are within their separate chats are giving their prayers for my daughter. I got a strong feeling she's going to need skin graft. But with some of the technology we have nowadays, they might be able to take her cells and regrow it. I mean, they did that with my cartilage in my knee. They regrow the cartilage in my knee. I was like, damn. I like to take my cane as the kids go by and shake my cane and yell that, tell them to get off my goddamn grass and shit. You know you're getting old when you're telling people to get off your grass. Get off my grass, young whippersnapper. Oh. I don't know. It's... Oh... Yes, it just everybody celebrate. I mean, it is the day that Trump got elected president and ruined Hillary Clinton's dream of being El Presidente. Oh. It is a day to celebrate. It's funny, a year later, and they're still crying a year later. And you know what? I get a smirk every time I think that Trump got elected, and all those people that told me I didn't know what the hell I was talking about, and he could never win. And if you think back to the beginning of the primaries, day one of the primaries, Trump becoming the candidate, not winning presidency, becoming the candidate, he had a 1% chance. That tells you anything about this man. He had a 1% chance of even becoming the candidate. And he not only became the candidate, he won the election. It's a success story, and it shows you, I think that really showed that when Americans put their hearts together and their minds together, we can do anything. We can overcome elections, everything, when we put our minds to it. I want to get into one last article. ABC, CBS, and NBC give zero coverage to the Mendez trial. The Mendez trial has been going on for 62 days. 62 days. And they have not covered a single minute of it. The jury, we're waiting for the jury to return a verdict on whether or not Mendez is guilty of corruption and bribery in a case that alleged he accepted lavish gifts in exchange for lobbying for a friend's political interests. And I hope to God this was not true. Supposedly, one of the jurors asked the judge to give a definition of what a senator is. That's scary. The Democrat from New Jersey has already missed a number of Senate votes while he has been on trial, and if convicted, could be removed from the Senate entirely. That is why Mendez tried to get the courts, and why he's claiming that the judge is biased, because he wanted the courts to stop and start at the whim of him running to the Senate to vote. There was an important vote in Senate. They could stop the trial so that he could go vote and come back. And the judge turned around and told him he was getting no special favors just because he was a senator. He would get no special privileges. So now he's claiming that the judge is biased and setting up for an appeal later on. Which pretty much means the way they're doing it, they're setting up an appeal. His attorneys feel that there's going to be a guilty verdict coming out. It's just sad that they have not done 1 minute. 1 minute. That's sad. CNN was able to dedicate 37 minutes of the trial. Even that's 62 days. They've done 36 minutes. And more than 2/5 of the coverage, just short of 15 minutes, was done by anchor Jake Tapper. And with that, I'm going to get going. We're going to turn the show over to the Sackheads radio show. Coming up next on the left coast. See, I'm on the right coast, the conservative coast. They're on the left coast, the liberal coast. It is the Sackheads radio show, hosted by Sackhead Clint, Sackett, Sean, and the great BZ himself. I'll see everybody tomorrow night.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.